Have you ever wondered, why does one person always seem to have good luck? They meet the right people. The right opportunities seem to appear. Things somehow work out for them. And then there are people who seem to have the opposite experience. Everything becomes difficult. They miss opportunities. Relationships become complicated. Money comes and goes. They experience one obstacle after another, and we simply say, that's bad luck. But what if luck is not as random as we think? What if what we call good luck and bad luck is actually related to the movement of energy? Today, we're going to look at luck from a completely different perspective through the BodyMaitre 4 bodies system. Let's first look at the Chinese word for luck. In Chinese, luck is commonly translated as yunqi. And this is actually a very interesting word because it is made up of two characters, yun and qi. The character yun can relate to movement, transportation, carrying, motion, sailing, using, applying, or putting something into operation. And qi refers to qi, energy, life force, spirit, even air or breath. So when we put these two ideas together, yun qi can be understood as the movement, transportation, or flow of qi. From a BodyMaitre perspective, this gives us a very interesting way to understand luck. Instead of thinking about luck simply as something that randomly happens to us, we can think about it as how well is energy moving. When energy moves freely, we experience flow. When energy becomes restricted, we experience stagnation. So perhaps good luck is better movement of energy, and bad luck is restricted or stagnant movement of energy. This doesn't mean that every event in life can be controlled. Life will always contain uncertainty, timing, and circumstances beyond our control. But it gives us another question to ask. Instead of asking, why am I so unlucky? We can ask, where has the energy stopped moving? Most people have a very different understanding of luck. They think luck is a force or chance event that brings good or bad things into your life. Something happens randomly. You win a prize. You meet someone at exactly the right time. You get an unexpected opportunity. Or perhaps you miss something important. Lose money. Have an unexpected problem. And you say, I'm having bad luck. According to this common belief, luck is something outside of us. It simply happens, and we have very little influence over it. But the BodyMaitre perspective asks us to look deeper. What if we have both, inner luck and outer luck? Let's start with inner luck. In BodyMaitre, we see the four bodies as the vehicle for the soul: the spiritual body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the physical body. Think about these four bodies as an internal environment. Just like your home can become cluttered, your internal four bodies can also become energetically cluttered. And when there is too much internal clutter, the movement of energy becomes restricted. This can influence how you think, how you feel, how you respond, how you make decisions, how you interact with people, and ultimately, how you experience life. So we can describe inner luck equals the movement of energy within your four bodies. Let's begin with the spiritual body. Your spiritual body relates to your connection with your deeper purpose, soul awareness, spiritual wisdom, and your sense of connection with something greater than yourself. Imagine someone who has completely lost connection with their purpose. They don't know what they really want. They feel disconnected. They constantly follow what other people expect from them. Their spiritual energy becomes stagnant. Then opportunities may appear, but they don't recognize them. People may offer help, but they don't trust it. A new direction may appear, but they are afraid to follow it. From the outside, we might say, this person has bad luck. But from a BodyMaitre perspective, we might ask, is their inner energy moving? When the spiritual body becomes clearer? When purpose becomes clearer? When trust becomes stronger? The person may begin making completely different choices, and suddenly their life seems to become luckier. Now, let's look at the mental body. Your thoughts and beliefs create the internal scripts through which you interpret life. Imagine someone who constantly thinks there are no opportunities. People cannot be trusted. Money is difficult to make. I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works for me. Even when an opportunity appears, their mental programming may immediately reject it. Someone offers them a business opportunity. They think, there's probably something wrong with it. Someone introduces them to an important person. They think, they probably don't really want to help me. They receive an opportunity. They think, I'm not ready. The opportunity disappears, and then they say, see, I'm unlucky. But perhaps the problem wasn't the absence of opportunity. Perhaps the internal mental energy was blocking the movement of opportunity. This is why in BodyMaitre we pay attention to subconscious programming, limiting beliefs, fear-based thinking, and repetitive mental patterns. Now let's look at the emotional body. Imagine someone who has experienced repeated betrayal. They have been hurt. They have been rejected. They have experienced heartbreak. Eventually, they decide, I will never trust anyone again. Their heart becomes protective. Their emotional field becomes contracted. Then someone genuine enters their life. But because of the old emotional programming, they push that person away. Later they say, why am I always unlucky in relationships? Again, maybe it isn't simply bad luck. Maybe there is emotional energy that has not been released. When the emotional body becomes lighter, when fear is transformed, when forgiveness and openness return, the person behaves differently. They communicate differently. They choose differently. And therefore, they experience different outcomes. Now we come to the physical body. Remember, your 4 bodies are the vehicle for the soul. If the vehicle is exhausted, overstressed, constantly tense, or poorly maintained, the movement of energy can become more difficult. Imagine someone who is constantly exhausted. They have no energy to meet people, no energy to create, no energy to pursue opportunities. They keep postponing things, they don't take action. Then they wonder, why am I always missing opportunities? Sometimes what we call bad luck may simply be a lack of available energy to respond to life. When the physical body becomes more grounded, more rested, more energized, the person becomes more available to life. They notice opportunities, they take action, they follow through. And once again, their life may begin to look much luckier. This is why BodyMaitre does not look at only one body, because these 4 bodies constantly influence one another. A spiritual block can influence the mental body. A mental belief can influence the emotional body. An emotional wound can influence the physical body, and a physical condition can influence your emotions, thoughts, and spiritual connection. Imagine these 4 bodies as 4 connected rooms. If one room is filled with clutter, the entire house is affected. So when we talk about inner luck, we're really asking, how freely is energy moving through my entire 4-body system? Now let's turn this around. What creates good energy? What creates what we call good luck? From the BodyMaitre perspective, positive consciousness can create a much more harmonious internal environment. For example, authenticity, trust, clarity, confidence, gratitude, self-worth, responsibility, compassion, purpose, joy. These states create a very different internal environment. When your spirit is clear, your mind becomes clearer. When your mind is clearer, your emotional body becomes more stable. When your emotional body becomes more stable, your physical body can respond differently. And when all four bodies begin moving together, your actions become more aligned. Your perception changes, your decisions change, your relationships change, your behavior changes, and therefore, your experiences can change. This is what we mean by creating a more positive chi or movement of energy within the four bodies. But inner luck is only half of the story, because you don't live inside your four bodies alone. You live inside an environment. You have a room, a home, a family, a workplace, relationships, friends, colleagues, communities, and a larger collective environment. So we also have outer luck. Outer luck is the movement of energy within your external environment and your connections with that environment. And this can be just as important. Let's start with something very simple: clutter. Have you ever noticed that when your room is extremely cluttered, your mind can also feel cluttered? You cannot find things. You keep postponing organizing. You feel overwhelmed. You walk into the room and immediately feel tired. From a BodyMaitre perspective, physical clutter can become part of the energetic environment. When energy becomes stagnant in a space, the space may no longer support clarity and movement. So sometimes, creating better luck doesn't begin with manifesting something new. It begins with removing what is blocking movement. Clean the room, remove unused things, create space. Let air and light move. Create a better environment for energy to circulate. Sometimes, creating space is creating opportunity. Now let's talk about relationships. You can have a very positive four-body system, but spend most of your day surrounded by people who constantly criticize you, manipulate you, create fear, drain your energy, or pull you into endless conflict. That external environment affects you. You may begin thinking differently, feeling differently, behaving differently. Your emotional energy becomes exhausted. Your mental energy becomes distracted. Your physical energy decreases. Your spiritual clarity becomes weaker, and then life begins to feel unlucky. This is why outer luck is not simply about Feng Shui. It is also about who and what you allow into your energetic environment. Sometimes improving your luck means changing your relationship with a person. Sometimes it means establishing boundaries. Sometimes it means leaving an environment that constantly drains you. This is also where Feng Shui becomes interesting. Regardless of your personal beliefs about Feng Shui, the basic idea of environmental flow is easy to understand. Where you live affects how you feel. How you feel affects how you think. How you think affects what you do. And what you do affects the results you experience. So your home can either support movement or contribute to stagnation. A dark, cluttered, neglected environment can create a very different experience from a clean, organized, well-maintained, peaceful environment. From a BodyMaitre perspective, your home is not separate from your four bodies. Your environment becomes part of the larger field in which your four bodies operate. Now imagine the opposite. You live in a supportive environment. Your home is organized, your workspace is clear. You surround yourself with people who encourage your growth. Your relationships have healthy boundaries. You spend time in environments that inspire you. You connect with people who share positive consciousness. You create opportunities for collaboration. You take care of your physical surroundings. Energy begins to move. Information moves. People move. Ideas move. Resources move. Opportunities move. Connections move. And suddenly, life feels more fluid, more synchronized, more open, more fortunate. Again, we might call this good luck, but perhaps it is simply better movement of energy. So now we have two dimensions, inner luck and outer luck. Inner luck asks, how clear and uncluttered are my four bodies? How freely does energy move within me? What beliefs are influencing my choices? What emotions am I carrying? Am I connected to my purpose? Is my physical body supporting my life? And outer luck asks, what is happening around me? Is my environment supportive? Is my space cluttered? Are my relationships healthy? Is my workplace supportive? What kind of collective energy am I connected to? What am I allowing into my external space? When these two environments become more harmonious, your experience of life can change dramatically. Let's imagine two people receive exactly the same opportunity. Person A has a cluttered inner and outer environment. They are mentally doubtful, emotionally fearful, physically exhausted. Their home is chaotic. Their relationships are draining. They don't take action. The opportunity passes. They say, I'm unlucky. Person B receives the same opportunity. Their mind is clear. Their emotions are stable. Their body has energy. Their environment supports them. They recognize the opportunity. They act. They follow through. They succeed. Everyone says, wow, you're so lucky. But was it really random, or were their internal and external conditions different? This is the question BodyMaitre invites us to explore. So, are you lucky? Maybe the better question isn't, am I lucky? Maybe the better questions are, what is the condition of my four bodies? Where is my inner energy blocked? What consciousness am I carrying? What is happening in my external environment? What relationships am I connected to? What energy am I allowing into my space? And most importantly, where can I create more movement? Because when energy moves, life moves. When consciousness expands, possibilities expand. When internal and external clutter decreases, there is more space for new experiences to enter. So, is luck completely random? From the conventional perspective, many events in life certainly involve chance, uncertainty, timing, and circumstances beyond our control. But through the BodyMaitre lens, we can explore another possibility. Luck can be experienced as the natural manifestation of the state of our inner and outer environments. Your inner luck reflects the movement of energy within your four bodies. Your outer luck reflects the movement of energy within your environment and your connections. When blocks and interferences accumulate, energy becomes stagnant. When consciousness becomes clearer, when your four bodies become more aligned, when your environment becomes more supportive, energy can move more freely, and what we experience as good luck may simply be the visible manifestation of that improved movement. So perhaps you don't always need to chase good luck. Sometimes you need to remove what is blocking it. And this brings us to a very interesting question. If good luck and bad luck can be influenced by our consciousness, what are the specific patterns in the collective consciousness that cause people to attract experiences of good luck or bad luck, right? What are the common energetic programs people unconsciously carry? What makes someone repeatedly experience opportunity? And what makes another person repeatedly experience blockage? In the next BodyMaitre episode, we're going to explore the common blocks and interferences in collective consciousness that influence good luck and bad luck. We're going to look at the patterns that people collectively carry and how these patterns can influence the movement of energy through their four bodies and their external environment. So make sure you subscribe to the BodyMaitre channel, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, clear your inner space, clear your outer space, create movement, and remember, when energy moves, life moves. I'm Darek, this is BodyMaitre. See you in the next episode.